Hello, Colin, or should I say something in Swiss German to recognize where you are today?
Grüezi, grüezi, Ella. Mein Name ist Colin
Oh,
Galvin.
fantastisch. So great to
Wunderbar.
see. Wunderbar, exactly. So great to see you again this week, Colin. And you are, for anyone who didn't understand what Colin was just saying, he's speaking in Swiss German there, and you are coming to us from where exactly?
I am in the train station, in the main, the Hofbahn, the Bahnhof, the main train station for the city of Zurich. So it's 6 p.m. here, and on Friday evening, I have one more meeting. I've been traveling all day. I have my bags with me, and couldn't get to any other place, but I didn't want to miss our time. So appreciate the opportunity.
No, I appreciate it. I think I'll just then say quick disclosure that there may be a little bit of background noise, but I think we can definitely put up with that while we're recording this. Funny that you are in that location. I remember the last time I was in Switzerland, I was also in Zurich with my mum for Christmas and visited that train station. There was a lovely little Christmas market. So I don't know if it's there at the moment, but maybe you can pick up some treats on your way.
I actually, so one of our advisors here, Martin Ramsler, will give a shout out to Martin. He has bought some very nice chocolates. They are pretty much considered the best chocolate. If, in a country known for chocolates, they're pretty much considered the best chocolates in Switzerland. And I have a big bag that I am bringing back with me. I'm just going to set the rules, which are: one, you got to be in the office. We're not shipping them to anyone. Two, it's first come, first serve. Three, go easy. They are like they're handmade, they're beautiful, but like go easy on them.
Wow.
They're beautiful. I literally had to say to him, hey, that's too much. Like you were being too
There's
generous. Yeah.
there's no such thing as too much chocolate. So
Yeah, fair enough.
lucky people who end up receiving on the receiving end of that. Um, Great. So, chocolate and cheese aside, you've been in Switzerland all week. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about that and what you've been up to over there. Also, want to touch a little bit on a big public announcement that went live this week as well. Beyond that public announcement, I just pushed the launch button with the help of Ambi for the first episode of this podcast. So, as we speak, people, BNers, are hopefully listening to that first episode, enjoying it, and leaving some comments. So please give us feedback. And by the time you're back in Somerville, we will hopefully be launching this one too. So without any wunderbar. Love it. Okay, so without any further ado, the big public announcement that I was just referring to was the fact that the AWS Accelerator, a Sustainable Cities Accelerator, which has been going on for a couple of weeks now. I think it was at the last demo that Sam really eloquently spoke about our successful acceptance into that program. And you were, if I'm correct, were actually at the kickoff on that day. So you didn't get a chance to chime in about what that means for us at VIA to be part of such a thing. So I think it would be really great to hear from you. How's that been going? What does it mean for VIA to be part of that? And any insights that you have so far?
Yeah, happy to do that. I'd say first I want to give a shout out to Kate, who I signed us up for this. I literally, we wrote that application quickly, signed up. There's all, and then, I'm off to Switzerland, and like, oh, Kate said, "Hey, are you going to go to this thing? I guess I'll go to it," because So I appreciate her taking 3 hours, over multiple days in each, to show up. So thank you, Kate, for giving it.
Yeah, we'll have to get Kate on the podcast to give her side of the experience as well once we can.
But it's a fabulous opportunity for us, as you may have heard. Hundreds of companies applied, only 9 were accepted. We're the only Web3 company that was accepted. And the reason why I particularly like this, first, we spend a lot on AWS, and so first there's 100,000 credits that go to us. So that's always, can't say no to that. And but most importantly, I think there's strategic help around customers. So unlike Elemental Accelerator or Plug and Play or Cypher, which were all, those were all good programs for us at different moments in time. This one is focused on getting actual introductions to customers. And AWS is a really big, very big company. They have very good access, and they have they're making helping us get into the right kind of customer set. And if you think about our mission, cleaner, safer, more equitable communities, well, sustainable cities fits that. Right, that's a nice fit, and there. So that's essentially the key aspect, and so super excited by that.
Yeah, that is really great. And so interesting to hear that there's only, like, we're the only Web3 company there. Does that mean, like, does that work to our advantage? I guess in a way it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it says something about who we are and what they think of us. They weren't. It was neither a positive nor a negative, right? And this is, I think this whole application process happened post crypto crash, et cetera, FTX scandal, et cetera. So it's not like, oh, we didn't know that this was happening, right? There's that context all existed, and so it wasn't trouble for them. And there's a wide variety of companies, from device companies. There's a rooftop wind company, right, for buildings. There's a huge, but from a digital perspective, we're the only Web3 company in that group.
Fantastic. And so I know that it's quite an intensive program running across several weeks. As you just mentioned, you've tagged Kate in to participate in it while you're away. So that kind of will wrap up mid-December in a couple of weeks. Is that right?
Yeah, I think we've only got a couple of weeks left. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and I think we'll be looking for there's both, but hopefully not really the end. So our goal is to build a stronger relationship with AWS, and then in fact we'll have in the new year in-person meeting, because it's all virtual right now. And then our goal is really to keep the momentum with the customers they're introducing us to.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we look forward to hearing more of the takeaways from those sessions. And as I mentioned, we can probably get Kate on to hear her side of things as well. It'll be great. Excellent. So then I think the other topic that I mentioned was, one more thing.
I'm going to, because there's always one more thing, which is if you say, if I had one takeaway or one observation, which is this is end of 2022, right? 22 has been a crazy year. Say specifically in the markets, financial markets have been up and down, all kinds of markets have been up and down. So one observation in the climate tech space, so particularly related to sustainability, is they had data that showed, after looking at thousands of companies and investments over the course of 2022, the third quarter of 2022 was actually a record quarter in a positive way in the number of investments and the total dollars invested in climate companies, right? Startups, venture capital invested in climate technologies. And I think that says something about, like, yes, there's all these other areas. If you were in financial services, you probably got hit pretty hard. If you were in crypto, you got hit pretty hard. If you were in healthcare, there are lots of areas that took a hit. But if you were in this one area, there was only one, you actually had a record quarter. So I think that's interesting to kind of, that's one observation they were sharing with us.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Well, bring on the money. Fantastic. So the other topic that I did want to discuss, obviously, is your trip to Switzerland. So I think I said, hear a little bit about your week, but it would be great for those people who may be not familiar with why you're in Switzerland, why you go to Switzerland frequently. What is that relationship that we have as a company with Switzerland, and why is it so important?
Yeah, sure. First, I think there's actually a blog post called, Why Switzerland? So if you ever need the written record, there is one. We love lots of things about Switzerland, for the chocolate and cheese aside, which relate to the research activities and the technical depth and the interest in their forward thinking around climate technologies, and also from a data privacy perspective. So when you think about data privacy or security, which is a core foundation of what we do, there's no country in the world, right, that you would say, has a higher reputation around that. So you have nothing against countries like Estonia, right, or which has a big blockchain community, or countries like or even France or the UK. But if you wanted to say, well, hey, we're doing work and our work is central to data privacy, and we have many initiatives in Switzerland, then that's actually the positive. That's I get what that means. And we hear that from customers too. Even in Oklahoma, we were told and given advice, hey, you should mention the work you're doing in Switzerland. You mentioned that in Oklahoma. Like, oh, I know where that is. I understand what that's a check mark, right?
Yeah.
It may even be a better check mark than New York in some situations. So.
Yeah, so huge cred for us in those communities. That's really great. And so we, like, just in case other people aren't aware, we have an office, office kind of. That's the reason why we opened that office there in Switzerland, the virtual office, I would say.
Yeah, we have a physical presence. Actually, I think maybe Hayden can share. There's a the Iron Man that we hide, and there is an Iron Man with a BS sticker in the Switzerland office. There are photos of that we can share. So the BS Swiss office. I'd say for our goal, we already work with NL, which is based in Italy. Many U.S. power companies are actually owned by European big energy giants. And if we were to grow, I think if you look at 2023, I'd say really continuing to do research. Like, we have a research partnership with sponsored by the Swiss Energy Ministry and with Vermont Energy, which is one of the top 3 energy companies, power companies here. They've been good supporters, and our work with the universities here. We love it. They're really good at research, and we love to continue that. But also, they're good for pilot demonstrations. So, we actually this week had some excellent, the culmination of a lot of work, but we'll see, I'm going to say 3, maybe 4 new pilots actually starting here in Switzerland ASAP, if we can get, so that'll be around, renewable energies and actually in core areas like zero knowledge proofs and, our blockchain platform in buildings and electric vehicles. So it's super, super great to see.
Yeah, that's excellent. So you've jumped onto my next question already, which was kind of to understand a little bit, what was the focus of your trip this week? I know you're super excited about it. You want to share. So if you want to give the kind of highlights of what the outcomes of your trip have been.
Oh yeah, no, that's a great question. I think we so in a December month, really, you're setting up the next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's we built over the course of, as you mentioned, Emma, I've been here before. This is my 6th trip, roughly, in a year, building up the momentum to close out sort of the to get us to work. And so we were able to meet with people that we've met with before, but sometimes more senior people, sometimes getting people together, sometimes it just took that little momentum. And it's great to see that actual sort of, we're going to go do that. And the one thing I'd say, there is a cultural thing here in Switzerland, which is first, people generally say what they mean and don't say if they don't mean it. So there's not a, oh yes, and not, the culture is, I'm very reluctant to commit, but if I commit, it's going to happen. You can take people at the word. And so feel good about, like, oh, that's where we ended the week in these areas. And they're going to be super, maybe next week we can do another piece on this, but they're super exciting areas for us. They're all core and all using our latest technology stack. And it's exciting to see that opportunity for us.
That's really great. It must be, I don't know if refreshing is the right word, but it must take away a bit of like that. Oh, I just came away from that. I'm not really sure if that's going anywhere or not element of things, to work with super direct people like that and, feel good coming out of those meetings.
Yeah, no, I think it's excellent to have finally see that, turn. And because you never know the investment, you're always investing the time. The example, if you melt an ice cube, right? The ice cube, the first, it was it's -5 degrees. You could put, and the ice cube melts at 0 degrees. This is a Celsius example for the Americans.
They can do the math.
You can. You can put the energy in or put heat in and say, oh, it went from -5 to -4 to -3 to -2, but if you're just observing, you'll say, oh, I put all that heat in and it didn't melt, right? I did it, but it didn't melt. So the ice will never melt. It's like, no, in this case, we got to 0. We got to it. We made it happen, right? And so it's nice to see that tipping point.
Is this another way of you justifying why you get to go and eat more chocolate and cheese 6 times every year?
Yeah, okay. Well, there are stressful bits about being here
No.
as well. There are stressful bits. So it
I-
is a funny place. I'd be happy to share those too.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. It's okay. Let's keep this on the positive side of things rather than that. Maybe there's a bloopers podcast one day and you can talk about that stuff too. Excellent. So sounds like a super productive trip. Sounds like you've got lots of fantastic takeaways, and hopefully we'll hear a bit more about that once you're back at back on this side of this continent. You will be hosting, along with the teams, the end of year reflection on December 13th. So maybe that is also a forum where you'll be able to kind of touch on some of this stuff, because I know everybody will be really interested to hear a little bit more. But I think today, I know you've got other meetings to get to. I know you're in a bit of a interesting location. So just any final words or takeaways from your Swiss trip that you'd like to share?
No, I think this has been, it's good validation, right? Making that investment, and look forward to bringing back. I think the other part is what we're doing here is setting the Swiss are actually a little bit further ahead in the U.S. in some respects, particularly around some energy aspects. So the ability to say, hey, we're going to have those demonstrators here, we'll be able to actually point to them in the U.S. for the U.S. market as well. So it's all great. It's all good news.
Fantastic. Wunderbar, as we've been saying today. It's all wunderbar. Great. Well, Colin, I would say thank you very much. I know it's 6 p.m. there for you. Enjoy the rest of your evening and your last meeting. And I look forward to the next time we get to catch up in this forum.
Likewise. All right. Take care. Bye, Emma.
Thank you. Bye.
Tschüss.